Okay, so now let assume here when I create three instance, right? Let assume my school class is there and we supposed to have only three instance inside a JVM for this specific class. So how we'll achieve that? We created three instance and then we make constructor private. Then we have a public static school method. We applied some random logic. Okay, based on that logic, we are returning object 1, object 2, object 3. Okay, so it's pretty straightforward and simple because we are having only there is restriction for 3 object. What about if the restriction for 25 object or 30 object or 5 object or 10 object? So for that, if you write like this, right, 1 2 3 4, and then uh, when people try to access the instance of your class, right? So in that case, what happened? In that case, it will be like very complex code you're supposed to write, right? So here mat.random. So because it's 3 or 2, I use mat.random, but not always, right? So let assume with Anton design pattern, see, we have not completed list, okay, which I'm going to use for this. So right now you guys have to remember, just have to focus on the logic and concept part, not on the code. Okay. So let's assume if user say you need to have a 10 object of a student class, not more than 10 object. So in that case, what you will do, how you will achieve that? So it's not like you will create 10 object and then you will have if else condition like that. Okay. So we'll see how we'll achieve that. Okay. And after this, we will see how to create a immutable class. Okay. So you all are clear about singleton and intern design pattern, the basic fundamental, right?
Yes, it's clear.
Okay. Ponita?
Yeah, hi Abhinav. I'm yet to see the last video, so I'll watch it today.
Okay. Okay. One more thing. Whenever you guys complete one video, right? You just
Uh-huh.
put a comment like completed. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Because what I used to do now, I used to edit that one, like unnecessary things are there, so I used to remove and all. Okay. Okay, fine. So what we are going to learn, let us assume here, because I have a three instance, so it's or two instance pretty straightforward. You can create those and directly you can return because you know that okay, three or two instance, so there is no need to write a like complex logic and all. Okay. So let us assume there is a requirement where you are having a class called a student and there is a restriction you can only have 10 or let take 5, not 5 object you can create. So in that case, how we'll do that? Okay. So first of all, when you want to restrict, right, outside the class, no one create an object. So in that case, you have to create your own object, right? So first we'll declare a class. So public class student. Clear? So I've declared the class. Okay. So now I have to create 5 object. I want to create a 5 object of a student class, not more than 5 object. Okay. So whatever happen, the number of object cannot go beyond 5. So in that case, what we'll do? We will first take a list. Okay. So we'll take a private static final. Okay. Now this is final. 1 second. So we have list. List you guys don't know, so don't bother about that. Okay, just remember it will hold all the instance. So list a student type object it will. So here it's like objects, okay, equal to new array list. Okay. So I have created a list. Okay, why I created? There is a reason that I will explain later. on. So this is the list which hold number of instance. We'll see later. Okay. Now the first thing, our constructor should be private. Okay. So let make our constructor private. Why we are making constructor private? So outside of the class, no one can access that constructor, and if no one can access, no one can create
Object.
object. Okay. Now I now what I have to do? I have to, when my class load, right? I have to create this 5 object, right? Okay. So in class, you know a static block, non-static block.
Yeah.
Okay. So when a static block will loaded?
When the class is
When the class is executed.
Okay. So what we'll do? We'll use that static block here. Curly braces start, curly braces end. So why we are using static block? So when my class load, I will create 5 object. Okay.
Mhm.
So for int I equal to 0, I is less than 5. I have to suppose to get 5 object, right?
Yes.
And I plus plus. Clear? Okay. So now this for loop start and end. Okay. Inside that, you see here, I have created one objects, right? I will say here student objects equal to new array list. So basically, this is a storage. We'll learn in collections, but right now you remember this is a storage. Okay, where we create our object and store our object. Okay. So student objects, right? And then there is a method called add. Add means for timing, just whatever I'm saying, just you remember. Later on, anyhow, I will explain everything in detail. And then inside that, I will create new student. So how many times this will get executed?
5 times.
5 times. Okay, this is the way. Okay, if it seems like complex, maybe like you guys don't know list and all, so it may seems like okay. So simply what you have to do, you will create a student object, a student temp equal to new a student, and then our variable name is what is s objects, student objects dot add temp. So what both are same. So I've added here, right? Now, okay. So now because we have added this temp, this is clear. When it's get loaded, this method will get created, right? And this static method will get loaded, this for loop will get executed, and all the 5 object will create, right? So we have created. Okay, now we restricted constructor, we created object, everything is done. Now when someone want that object, how they will access, right? Because we are creating object means there is certain use, right? Clear? So for that,
Yes.
in singleton, what we are doing, we used to have a public method, right? Similarly here also we'll have a public method, public static. What it will return? It will return a student type object, right? A student. What it will return? Instance. So usually you used to name is get instance, and this is start, and this is end. Okay. So now what we'll do here is we'll write one logic. Okay, based on that logic it will return. Okay, so let's assume it will return objects randomly. So whenever you call, it will always return a different object. Like it will switch between 5 objects. Sometimes it will do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have to write that logic, right? So how will write? So we'll write here a student. First we need to get the object. A student obj equal to where we have kept our student object, in this variable, right? S objects. So this variable have all our 5 student object. So how we'll get it? We'll get it from there. We'll get it, let's assume we'll get it like a student. 1 second. S objects S objects dot get I. What is I here? So we have not declared till now I. So let me declare the I here. Okay, on top. Anywhere you can declare, because any of that I is going to be static. So anywhere you can declare. But let me declare here. Oh, let me declare here on itself. Here, public static int I equal to 0. So I have taken this variable so that I will perform certain logic. So when I is right now I is 0. So when there is S object dot get I, the first object it will return. Okay. And then what we'll do here, every time after returning that I equal to I plus 1 divide by, what is this? S objects dot size. 1 second, let me write mod S objects dot size. Okay, and then you will return obj, right? So every time whenever someone call this get instance method, right, you will get the object whatever, because I is just static in nature, right? So whatever update happen, it will happen for everyone. Like it's not like it's not like every time it will reinitialize, right? So it's initialize 1, and if you do certain update, that update will reflect on the I because it's static, right? So I plus 1 mod object by object dot size, right? And return obj. So let assume, and then here class end. Okay. So every time this line you are able to understand or not? This line.
So if we are passing, for example, if we are passing 2, so again it will be like 2 plus 1, right? That is.
See, always start with 0. So let's assume first
Okay.
start with 0, right?
Okay.
So 0
Okay.
plus 1, what is 1?
1.
1 mod n. What is the size? Let's assume 5, right?
5. Okay.
So 0, right?
Okay. Yeah. Right.
Okay. So n mod 0. So counter will become 0, right?
0.
Actually, it's n plus 1. Okay. So let
Till
us assume,
5, it will have 0 only then.
no, it's always be 4. It's not because
Sorry, till 4. Yeah, okay.
because it's size, right?
Yeah.
So in that case, it's every time it will switch. It's not always return 0. So if you want to check, you write the code and you see that every time it will get updated. Okay. So okay, let me take one example. So let's take, I call this, what is this method name? Method name is get instance. Okay. So in outside somewhere I call get instance. Okay. Or student dot get instance. I call this one. So what happened when I call 0, the first object I will get. Okay, that is fine. The first object, whatever there in index 0, that object will get. Okay, but 0, now what happened here? So here I equal to 0, 0 plus 1, it's become 1, right? Mod s dot objects. So 5 mod 1. Can you calculate?
5 mod 1.
Yes.
It's 5.
Sorry, not 5 mod 1. 1 mod 5. So
It will be 1, na?
it will give yeah. Tell me.
Is it 1?
No, it's not 1. I think it will be, yeah, it seems like it is 1 because 0.2, right? So
Yeah.
no reminder. I think 2. 1 second.
No, it's
1 second. Okay. I think the first
1 is the answer. It's showing.
So if first one is a 1, right? Then next time when you call, so 1 plus 1 become 2, and then we have a 5. So 2 mod 5 will become, no, first one is I think the 0 plus 1 and mod it is 1, correct. The first one is 1. Second one is, I think second one is 2, and third one is 3. Fifth one is 0. Okay. So if you test that one, you can test that. Okay. So first one will come 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and when it's come to fifth, right, it will become 0 again. Okay. So like that it will progress. So if you see 0 plus 1 mod 5 will become 1. 0, sorry, 1 plus 1 mod 5 will become, I think 0 plus 1, 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 mod 5. So 2 mod 5 will become 2 mod 5 will become 2, 2 plus 1, 5, become 3. 3 mod 5 will 3 mod 5 will become 3, 4 mod 5 will become 5, 5 mod 5 will become, yes, 0. Okay. So in that way, every time it will start from 0 again, right? Once it will become 0, it will again start. You understand, right?
Yes.
Okay. Let me do this. This is I value, right? And the mode result will get. So first time I will be 0, right? So now we have expression I plus 1. So let me write here I plus 1. Okay. And then we are having size. Size is 5, and here we'll have result. Whatever result it will come. Okay. So 0. So 0 plus 1 will become 1. Okay. And 1 mod 5 is 1. Okay. Now I become 1. So 1 plus 1, it's become 2. So 2 mod 5. So 2 mod 5 will become 2. Okay. Now it's become 2 mod 5, 2. So here 2 plus 1, it's become 3. 3 mod 5. If you do 3 mod 5, it will become 3. Then here 3. So 3 plus 1, sorry, 3 plus 1, it's like 4. 4 mod 5 equal to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then here it will be, oh, sorry, 4. 4 plus 1 5 mod 5 equal to 0. So now I become 0. So when you call next time, again it will start I equal to 0, 0 plus 1, right? And then 1 mod 1 mod 5 equal to 1. And then again same thing repeat. Understand? Kritika, Ponita,
Yeah, understand.
Yeah,
what?
I understood.
So basically this logic, right? So actually I was thinking about the result. We have to take the reminder, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you see here, I equal to I plus 1 mod S object dot size. Okay. So
Okay.
S object of size will return 5 and then you will perform your logic. So this logic basically we are using to, to randomly switch between the objects. So every time if someone call, you will give first object, which is not good, right? The four object you cannot use, you created, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is the main logic of end-to-end design pattern. So if someone asks, okay, I have two, we need to get two objects, then no need to write this much. You just go with mat.random, okay, or three, okay. There are other ways also you can switch in between, okay. But right now this one, and if you guys don't aware about this, what we call this one, right? S objects and new. So don't worry, we have not completed it. This is a part of collection, which after I think threading we are going to learn. Okay, this is like second last topic of core Java. Okay, okay. So now we'll go to, so singleton is clear, endton is clear. No doubt, any doubt if you guys have, you can ask right away. Okay.
So in what are the scenarios we will be using this EN10?
Okay, let's take a scenario. Let's think about, you guys are using database, right?
Yes.
Okay. So database side, there is a, like, they can restrict a number of connection, right?
Yes, correct.
So how they are restricting?
Okay. Okay,
So
got it.
internally, basically they are creating connection object, six connection object.
Yeah, right. Correct.
Okay. So there are many like basically this design pattern is used for resource management. Okay.
Mhm.
So
Okay,
it's,
got it.
let assume I know that I can handle all the requests with four objects and I don't want to take much memory, right? In
Yeah.
that, I will not allow end user to end up creating hundreds or two hundreds of objects which fill my heap area, right?
Okay.
So it's like it's basically this design pattern help us resource management and memory management. Okay.
Okay. So
Because
based on
yeah.
connection size, the object will be created, right? Okay, I got it now.
Yes, yes. So I basically what happened, let us assume uh, I have given the example of this what we call connection pooling, right? Database
Mm-hmm.
connection pools. So what happened? There is, if they put restriction of 10 objects, so how many requests you can send? Only 10 objects are available, right?
Yeah.
Okay. If you have to wait to get the access, otherwise when the resource will get free, you will utilize that. Otherwise, no issue, right? Then multi-threaded environment, there is a restriction. Okay, you can create five thread pooling, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let us assume there might be a scenario. Let us assume you are developing a software, right? You know that this software is only running in five state, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you already created five state object. You don't want allow them to create another object. Understand?
Yeah, okay, I got it.
Okay. Okay. So now we'll learn about immutability. So what happened when you go to the interview, right? And when they will ask you, I am talking about 3+ year of experience. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So let us just been to the interview and interviewer ask, okay, what is string? So you explain string and all, and then you explain string constant pull. Then you explain string buffer, string builders. You say, why we go for string builders? You will say because string builder is mutable. And then you say string is immutable, right? So at that time when you say string is immutable, he will jump to, okay, what is immutability? Okay. Can you create your own immutable class? So what you will answer? The first question he will ask, what is immutable? So what you will answer?
The value cannot be changed.
If the value needs to be changed,
New
new
object
object will
created.
be created.
that is different thing. That is in string happen. Basically,
Okay.
immutable means you cannot modify the content of the object.
Okay, that is the generic. Okay.
That is a generic term. Immutable
Okay.
class object cannot be modified once it's created.
Created. Okay.
Okay, that is called immutability. So he will ask how to achieve immutability. How? Like if I ask you, can you create a class which is immutable in nature? So can you do that? What happened? Just
Yeah, we
think.
can do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Just think, if I have to make a class, I want, let's assume if someone can create an object, but they cannot modify the content of the object. In that case, what I can do? What we can do?
The content will be like a
Uh,
final.
Final, yeah, fine. That's what I was also thinking.
Okay.
It's
So
like
fine, if you make final, they cannot
Change the
update.
value.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you make final and they cannot update it. So what they will do, they are very smart. They will create a subclass. Later, if someone asks money to you, cannot give, they will kidnap your children. So you will give money, right? So what they will do, they will create a subclass and they will extend your class.
Yeah,
Now,
we should not allow them to create the means extend the class also.
private, yeah.
Yeah. So the class also should be
final.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
The
first
class
of
should be final, and all the variable fields we are
That-
going to, should be private and final.
clear. The first step is make your class final class. Second step,
Make all the variables as a final and private.
all fields, all fields private and final. Okay. So there is a question again, which we'll not discuss right now. We'll discuss in mock interview part. I don't want to make you guys confused because we are initial part. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So now there in your class, there should not be a method which anyhow setting the value of the variables or like let us assume if you are having a variable in your class, student class name, and you are having a method which is allowing end user to update the name. So that type of method which allow to update any of the properties of your class, we call it setter. What we call it?
Sitter.
Setter basically what it does, it will allow end user or the public or the person who is accessing your object to set or to change the value. Okay. Let's assume a student class is there which have name, roll number, and if you provide setter, so people will access that setter and they will set the new value, right? So don't
Have the sitter method. Okay.
provide setter.
Sitter method.
Okay. Now always give a getter method. Getter method, why?
To get the value of that variable field.
Clear. Okay. Okay. Now we'll see. And if you are not having setter, so always they will use constructor to initialize the value. And here, because anyone can create objects, so we cannot make our constructor private because our purpose is to restrict them to update, right? You're understanding my point, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
The main purpose of mutability is what? Don't allow them to update the content.
Content.
Nothing else. They can create n number of objects, no issue. So let's take example. We'll take a student. So public, as Pontia said, class would be final. Okay, and we have student, right? And then we have roll number or ID, right? In college we used to have ID, in school we used to call roll number. Let me take ID, and then the second one also private, final, and then we have name. Clear? So we have taken two properties. Okay. So now we will take a constructor student. Here we'll have int ID, string name. Now curly braces up. This dot ID. You guys able to understand, right? What I'm doing? It's not like
Yes.
this dot name equal to name. Okay. Now we'll close this. Okay. So now constructor is fine. There is no getter, no setter, no setter, only getter, right? So we allow them to create object and we allow them to get the data. So we'll create getter, public get ID. So what will return here? We'll return ID. This I will ask in test, okay? This Anton, everything. So public string, here it is int. I missed that one. Public string get name. This is G. Okay. Then return name. Clear? This
Yes.
is our immutable class. So what is immutability? You cannot update the content of the object. If you have to make your class final, make all property and fields private final, don't provide setter, only provide getter. Clear?
Yes. Clear.
So if someone asks you, can you write down a getter? You guys can do that, right?
Yes.
Good. So any question from this?
No, I'm clear.
Yeah, it's